What's up, everybody? I just finished doing a couple of quenches on a few new blades in the backyard, so I figured that I would. Sorry, this is a super weird angle. I figured that I would let you guys see what they look like. Um, Pretty cool stuff. Pretty excited. A couple of sweet projects, a couple of cool things that are going to be up for sale very soon. And yeah, I don't know. Let's quit screwing around and just show you guys what I'm up to here. So I wanted to make a couple of, not pocket knives, but I guess pocket knives, smaller guys. The first one is going to be a tanto, little kind of baby tanto. It's gonna probably be a hidden tang, or at least a fully enclosed tang. Perfect. Then I thought that I would do something a little cooler and a little more stylish. So I made this guy. Let you see the profile there. A little bit of a recurve, cool little point on the top. Not quite like a fish hook or, sorry, a gut hook or anything like that, but just a cool kind of a shape to it. Thought I'd do something a little bit different. Again, just skating. Absolutely perfect. And then, actually, I guess I'll just leave these sitting here so you can still kind of see them. There was that guy. Here, I'll turn this down this way a little bit more. Alright, perfect. So, there was the tanto. And then there's this guy here. And then I figured I kind of wanted to make something like that, but a little gnarlier. These are both 1084 steel. So, 1095. I started this bad boy. I'm pretty stoked on that. That's going to be an exposed tang, full tang, regardless. I'm very happy with that. There's no grind on any of these yet. I'm starting to realize real quickly that I get a hell of a lot less of a chance of warp or anything like that, and I would rather just do most of the grinding in afterwards. No biting, nothing, skating, even the top. I didn't even want the top to be quite as hardened, and the top is still same thing. Won't bite in anything, even the hard side, the side that's meant to bite in, the round side. Nothing. Absolutely perfect. And then, here, I'll let you see the profile of that next to that. I was like, well, this is a little more Bowie-ish than what I would generally kind of go towards. I'm looking at that right now. I think that's pretty straight. I might have got a tiny little, oh, you know what? It's not even a bit of a warp. It's almost a super minuscule twist. Oh, no, it's not. I'm just tricking myself with my eyes. No, everything sits flat. All right. Just being goofy in my head. Anyways, regardless, this is kind of Bowie-ish, and it's not that I don't like them. It's a cool knife, especially I like with the recurve and stuff like that. As you can tell with a lot of the stuff that I make, I really, really like having a recurve on there, especially depending what it's for. It's an extremely handy geometry of the actual cutting edge, and it allows you to really hook into things when you're trying to cut on stuff, and it also gives you that slashing blade too. But like I was saying, started with the little guys, and then I was kind of looking at this thing, and I was like, man, I kind of want to do something big and cool like that. So that's literally just hold it up right to the camera like that. I just figured I would do a really cool, big, full-size version. So this is, this guy's obviously little, you can see compared to my hand there. But this one here is, oh, about 7 3/4. It's a little under 8 for the actual what is going to be the edge, the cutting edge. So then I was staring at that. I was staring at both of those, and anyone I've ever had a conversation with about knives knows that I'm kind of a nut for kukris or anything like that. Falcatas, anything that has that really dramatic, kind of a steep down plunge and belly and recurve and stuff. Again, I'm a sucker for a good, sexy recurve. So I was looking at both of those, and I've never done an actual kukri. I didn't want to get too crazy and do anything gigantic, but I decided that I was going to do this, which again is just the kind of bigger, gnarlier, curvier, sexier version of this guy. This guy's just very straightforward. Yeah, I'm not saying this isn't sexy. I like this knife a lot. But this thing is just beautiful. I'll hold it a little flatter to the angle of the camera so it looks a little more proper. So I am very, very excited to make this. I'm very, very excited to make this. And again, even the top, round side, you can see up close. Sorry if that sounds really terrible into the microphone, but you can see there's barely even scratches. So, properly heat treated. Quenched. I'm going to do the heat treat on all of these tonight. You can see they're still pretty kind of gnarly and ugly looking. That's just forge scale and some stuff like that left on from the quench. And yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the handles or anything like that yet. I think I'm going to get pretty simple with these guys. I'm not 100%. But I don't want them to really be too flashy. I want them to be effective. I want them to work nice. Yeah, I'm not a big guy for really flashy, crazy stuff unless it's called for. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards something a little cooler with this guy. And with this dude, I haven't really decided yet. I have some really cool neon and black G10 or micarta G10 scales, but they came pre-cut, and I don't think that they're quite long enough to get away with on this thing. You know what? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I'm not a big fan of these pre-cut things. I like buying big full sheets of stuff and cutting it myself. I'm a way bigger fan of cutting my own stuff custom. It's a lot less waste, and I can get a lot more precise with exactly what I want to do with it. But I think, because I kind of had an idea in my head of how I want this to kind of swoop at the front, it's going to be a little tight. If I do use these, I'll have to slightly compromise that by maybe like a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of what I wanted to do. But that being said, again, I think I want this thing to look pretty gnarly, and you can see that if you're a knife guy, obviously you're familiar with this stuff and you're telling me to not waste your time. But anyone that doesn't know, G10 and micarta are both construction laminates. They are tough as hell, especially micarta, but G10 is as well. It's just a slight bit more brittle because it's not usually natural, the actual stuff in between, that they're not natural fibers, where micarta is usually linen or rag cotton or something along those lines. This is usually fiberglass or something synthetic or plastic, but you can kind of see there, they basically do layers of green, black, green, black, green, black, green, black of neon and black on these ones in this case. Uh, this one here, you can kind of see it's like almost like a pinky brownish, like a very kind of sienna kind of a red. Layers again, black, red, or black, red, black, red, black, red. And what I liked about this is it's actually kind of uneven, the layers of the red in between. It's not very uneven there. You can see one, that's the factory side. It's a little more even looking. Um, I like that there was slight unnaturalness to it. This looked really, really nice. I used this stuff for the handle on my brother's kitchen knife that I made the other day. But when this stuff gets ground down in the right way, that's how you get this kind of a look where it almost looks like a wood grain to it. And that happens because of the layers, and as you grind down through them on different angles and stuff like that, different bits of them get exposed, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the way this looks. I'm a big fan of wood and natural stuff, but wood has a lot of upkeep, especially if you're the kind of person that's going to be using your knife outside or in the wilderness or for fishing or anything like that where it might be getting wet or seeing a lot of the elements. So I tend to kind of go with synthetic materials like that or the micarta. Again, it's just strictly out of wear and tear. I have made stuff with wood. Actually, I think there's one or two. Here's a dagger here that I made. I made this dagger a long time back now. That is obviously wood, and I just kind of put a stain and a finish on it, so that way it again, so I didn't have to worry about so much upkeep, because man, it's just such a pain in the ass when it starts splitting or swelling or drying out too much or anything like that, and you have to keep on with the upkeep and oiling it or taking care of it, and it tends to crack easier, it tends to get gouges and heavy marks out of it a lot easier, where the synthetic material, you really like, it's it's almost as hard as that, at least as far as the consistency of it and whatnot. So yeah, this is a cool dagger I made a long time ago. Since I have it out, I'll show it. I'm really happy. It came out nice, even, super even grinds on it. This actually used to be a file. You can see just a tiny, tiny little bit left on the one side. I left a little bit of the maker mark on there just so you could kind of see it. It's not quite shaving sharp anymore. I've used this for a lot of ridiculous things. Oh, well, I stand corrected. It's grabbing a couple of hairs still. But yeah, I've used this for lots of stupid things. The reason that it is dark like that is gun blue that I used on it, and the reason that you can't see it anywhere on the guard, quote unquote guard, I know it's pretty tiny, but the only reason you can't see it on there is because gun blue will not affect stainless. Stainless has a completely different molecular makeup, and because of the added ingredients in it, it actually stops the process from happening. You can tell how old this is and how early it is in my thing because you can still see some epoxy. I should actually take some time and get that out of there. You can still see some epoxy sitting in right in that little rim there. I didn't make this for anyone else. This is for myself. Again, it's not like I can really carry it around. It's bad enough getting caught, with a normal pocket knife, but you gotta evenly ground double-sided dagger that looks like that somewhere on you, and you get questioned. You're gonna have a hard time explaining why you got that on you. That's not exactly self-protection. That's not exactly something that you need. So that was just something fun to make. Again, it was very early days. I had a bunch of tool steel around. I had some files and whatnot, and it makes, especially the really, really, really old files, it makes awesome, awesome, awesome steel for knives. It's just fantastic. So yeah, again, I just wanted to kind of show you guys what I've been up to. I haven't posted anything in a couple of days. I don't want to rant too long here. I know the longer ones tend to have people lose interest and whatnot. So I've been trying to keep them between about, 10, 15, 20 minutes at the longest. But yeah, I got other stuff that I'm going to probably post up that I've been filming over the last day or two that's only a minute or two long. Just stuff about when I finished my brother's knife, the kitchen knife. I used it a couple of times and I made a quick one just kind of explaining staining on the carbon knives and whatnot. Because a lot of people, I think, are probably under the impression this is just like a stainless steel knife where you can throw it in the sink overnight and forget about it, or chop a bunch of stuff and then just let it sit on your counter or whatever. You can, by all means, but it's a bad idea, especially depending on the exact type of steel. It will rust a lot easier. It stains from acidic things. If you're chopping up tomatoes, peppers, onions, stuff like that with it, uh, almost instantly, depending on how acidic it is, you'll notice some marks. You'll notice a little bit of almost, again, almost like how this went dark compared to looking at this. It's almost like that. You get little kind of dark spots and stuff like that, and it's just from the acid. So it was just kind of explaining. Don't be worried about that. Whatever. Blah blah blah. If you want to watch that, go ahead. Uh, but yeah, any of these knives, if you do end up buying something from me, from anyone else, whatever, if it's a high carbon steel and it's not super high in nickel or chromium or anything that's gonna actually kind of prevent rusting and whatnot, be smart about it. The odds are you've probably spent a decent amount of money on it. Don't be stupid. The second that you're done chopping something, it takes 2 seconds to even use a wet paper towel and wipe it off. It'll still stain a little bit, but at least you're not letting stuff just sit on there and eat that steel, especially on that bottom edge. You don't really realize it, you don't think about it, but even on the stainless, when you leave stuff sitting on that edge, it deteriorates that steel a lot. And the next time that it gets dragged through something hard, it's going to dull it that much more. It's going to be that much more likely that if it's something thick that you're using for chopping into or something like that, that you might end up getting a chip or a roll or something. You're going to, at minimum, a deformation or whatnot. So yeah, just be smart about it. Like I said, regardless of whether you buy something from me or anyone else, just treat it with some respect. Somebody, if it's handmade at least, the odds are somebody spent a lot of hard time and effort on it, and we're probably pretty proud of it. I know I'm going to be super, super stoked. I might put this up for sale, but the odds are I'm probably going to keep it because I'm already absolutely in love with it, and haven't even got the goddamn forward scale off of it yet. But yeah, just again, be smart with your stuff. It's I know when I put work in, even just up to this point, I've got probably between quenching and initial grinds and drilling out and stuff like that, there's a good 2-3 hours and everything all together, outside quenching it in the charcoal and whatnot. So, people put their hard work and whatnot into these things. So treat it that way. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna cut it off there. Tomorrow, the next couple of days actually, I got a lot of this stuff on the go. I'm gonna start making handles. I don't know, I might even start roughing some stuff out in the middle of the night, but maybe even tomorrow or the day after when I get the first one or two of these finished, I will post a quick little video. I'm gonna try to stay on top of doing at least short ones fairly often. And yeah, until then, again, if you want something, hit me up. If you don't, all good. Thank you for watching anyways. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Later.